Kamala Harris is losing support amongst another key demographic. In 2012, Barack Obama won 70% of Hispanics. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won 66% of Hispanics. Joe Biden won 61% in 2020. Kamala Harris is polling only at 54%, and she's underwater with Hispanic men under 50. Now, you might say, but then, Charlie, how is this race even close? The answer is white, college-educated suburbanites are actually keeping this race closer than it should be. College-educated white people are actually keeping this race very close because if Donald Trump did as well with suburban voters as he did in 2016, this thing would not even be close. But Democrats have poured a ton of money into the suburbs of this country, especially white liberals or white upper-middle-class voters, especially women, to convince them that Republicans and Trump are the worst thing ever. Now, this is amazing. How can Trump, who is calling for the largest deportation effort ever, be doing historically well with Hispanics? You see, Karl Rove and the Koch brothers and the George Bush cabal, they believed after Mitt Romney only won 30% of Hispanics that the move was to do amnesty, was to talk more compassionately about illegals. The move was to say that we are free market, open border people. And so they pumped hundreds of millions of dollars through efforts called the Libre Initiative and many other well-intentioned things, saying that we're going to win by being open borders capitalists. Donald Trump comes along and says, actually, no, if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. We're being invaded. Sovereignty, language, borders, culture, period, end of story. And yet Hispanics want that more than they want the weird abstractions from the libertarian think tank people. And that is so interesting. When I go to college campuses, do you know who supports strong immigration, a wall, and deportations? It is the sons or daughters or first-generation immigrants that are the most enthusiastic. Do you know why? They feel so cheated and slighted by the newcomer border jumpers that call themselves immigrants and the line cutters that have waltzed into this country. They feel so violated. And let me highlight this to you. Have you ever waited in traffic and all of a sudden somebody is just on the curb of the frontage road, cutting in line and trying to get in? If that bothers you, and it should, because it strikes against what you know to be just and right and correct, that is how a legal immigrant feels with these border jumpers that we call migrants that claim asylum. If you ever have to wait long in line for a TSA line and someone just shows up as able to cut in line, that is exactly the way they feel. They say, why did I have to wait in line when you were able to cut in line, when you were able to not be vetted, and a violation of our customs and our norms? And we're winning Hispanics also because the Democrat Party becoming hyper-feminine is an affront to Hispanic culture. Hispanic culture is one that values the nuclear family, where the man is the head of the household. That still exists in the vast majority of Hispanic communities, the vast majority. They tend to be more pro-life than white liberals. They tend to be more anti-crime than white liberals. They tend to not care for the emotionality or the sensitivities of the woke agenda. As the Democrat Party gets exposed, Hispanics who work with their hands a lot and are in the muscular class say, I have nothing in common with the values of the Democrat Party. I have nothing in common with the party that says that men give birth, or nothing in common that says we want to mutilate your kids. I have nothing in common with the party that wants to take away our guns and allow criminals and rapists to run free. If this is true and Kamala Harris is only polling at 54% with Hispanics, that will be catastrophic for her, and the panic will only increase. But it makes sense. As Hispanics have come into this country, they've kept some of their values, and those values are at odds with the new tyranny of modernity that we're living through.